Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another weekly fighting roundup. And if you're new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like video if you did need like video, and let's get straight into it. Sorry if I look like a bit of a mess. It's been roasting today, but I'm here still making the content, even if I look like a bit of a mess. Either way, we'll start off with the boxing as per usual. So, Boxer has announced a partnership with England Amateur Boxing. Fury vs Usyk is planned to be made for early next year. I'm not going to get my hopes up yet, but I thought I'd put that in there. Hughes hasn't received a response from the IBF regarding his defeat from Cambosis Jr. The WBO have ordered Serrano vs Ramos. Briggs is in talks to fight Jackson. I think that would be quite a funny fight. I think they're in talks to do boxing and then MMA. Don't know if it will happen. Never say never with the way that everything is at the moment, but that would be a very interesting build-up, I can imagine as well. McCormack is set to fight Williamson November 11th. Suleiman will fight September 30th. Young is training with Jamie Moore and Nigel Travers. Valle will fight Santizo September 16th. The WBA have ordered Akhmadaliev vs Gonzalez. Canelo is open to fighting Crawford. Crawford a couple of weeks ago said he wants to fight Canelo. Canelo's now said he's open to fighting him. Forged Irish Stout is partnership with Boxer. Well, at least it was for the Eubank Smith, but probably wouldn't surprise me if they are for future events as well. Pacquiao wants to fight at the Paris 2024 Olympics. Crawler will fight October 21st. Virgo vs Chalmers, Temper vs Ginty, Raxu vs Halal Ham, Silva vs Davis, Simba vs Uguay, Izzard vs Rose, Bunker vs Belsey, Araf vs Jay, and Jade vs Weekender will fight September 23rd. Jarvis wants to fight Kenny. Taraji vs Butler, Cortez vs Nakatani, and Nasukawa will fight September 18th. That's a card I'm looking forward to. Some very good fights on that card. Matthias is set to fight Ergashev October 14th. The IBF have ordered Crowley vs Esserman. Martinez is set to fight Oliha November 25th. Hatton has released his documentary. Spence has activated his rematch clause versus Crawford. Did it right at the very last second from what it seems, and will be interesting to see if that's possibly by the end of the year. I doubt it, but we'll have to wait and see. Char has been reinstated as the WBA regular heavyweight champion. Michinio will fight Fundora October 21st. Chapman wants Hardy next. Rocha will fight Santillan October 21st. Top Rank want Lopez to become super champion. Janovic vs Gautieri, Davis vs Albright, Torres Jr., Vianello, Marquez, Regan and Davis will fight October 14th. Another fight that I'm excited for, that main event there. Janovic vs Gautieri. Finally, in my opinion, a big fight for Janovic, and one which he's not been getting many of these big fights. And Gautieri fight, it's going to be a good fight. I believe it's going to sell well. Definitely, it's going to have a great crowd, and I think this will be the first tough test. In my opinion, I think this will be a tough test for Janovic, and this will be an entertaining fight. I'm a fan of both of these fighters, and it's one I'm looking forward to. This one. Giron will fight Gibbs 30th of September. Good to see Gibbs on a big card, on a box card. Of course, we have him on the channel after his last fight. Go and check that out if you have not done so already. Graham Drew versus Finney. Rusella won via TKO in round 2 versus Nosp. Chaos Drew vs Beckett. Malia won via unanimous decision versus Iowan. Reeves won via KO in round 4 versus Corner to become Australian super middleweight champion. Taylor won via split decision versus Afakan to remain Australian welterweight champion. Naidu won via TKO in round 4 versus Mostert. Zarbatov won via TKO in round 2 versus Koopman. Sibanda won via unanimous decision versus Gaksaka. Knapp won via TKO in round 5 versus Zisk. Koopman won via stoppage versus Tis to remain South African super welterweight champion. Malajika won via unanimous decision versus Munoz to become IBO World Super Flyweight champion. Got that prediction right. Most people were saying Munoz win. I got that one right. I believe I said it was via stoppage. It wasn't in the end, but got it right. Congratulations to Malajika. Good performance. Kunduzi won via unanimous decision versus Shiradchidze. Eaton won via unanimous decision versus Koneka. Gribsholt won via KO in round 4 versus Jint Charadze. Cairns won via TKO in round 2 versus Wesolowski. Akbar won via unanimous decision versus Caputo. Souza won via TKO in round 2 versus Talarek. Bank won via TKO in round 2 versus Skurijalej. Forsund won via unanimous decision versus Luna to become WBC and WBO World Bantamweight Champion. Got that one right as well. Was a good pressure performance from Forsund. Didn't really show too much in crazy kind of wise, but put her on the back foot the whole fight. Outworked her, outboxed her. Didn't land, like I said, anything crazy. She wasn't really overly accurate in the fight. Some of her punches weren't. She was regularly going with the same type of punches, and they weren't really overly working a lot of the time. But like I said, putting Luna on the back foot, Luna wasn't really responding with anything in her own right, and Forsund did more than enough to win the fight. And it's good to see a dominating performance. Hopefully now she'll go on to another big fight, as it's nice to see these big fights get made. Murphy won via points versus Ocampo. Congratulations to Murphy. Of course, we found him on the channel a little while ago now. Fielding won via points versus Spencer. Maron won via points versus Alexandrov. Smith won via points versus Kazenda. Also had Smith on the channel. Congratulations to him. Marksby won via points versus Ellison. Antwi won via KO in round 12 versus Cartwright to become British Super Welterweight Champion. Arthur won via TKO in round 10 versus Suarez to become IBO World Light Heavyweight Champion. Got that one wrong. Thought Suarez would win. I said an early stoppage for Suarez, and I was close. I mean, he knocked down Arthur, and was out fighting him, was out throwing him, was out boxing him, was doing more. I thought that would be the case. People have been saying that the Arthur shot was possibly lucky to an extent. Maybe it was. I mean, Suarez was up on the rounds. He was doing well, and was. Arthur was losing rounds, and he had that knockdown in his favour, Suarez. And I think if it would have gone to a decision, Suarez definitely could have won. He definitely had the chance to have won, but of course he got caught with a shot. It was a nice shot. It was a good body shot coming in. Suarez does take a lot of punishment, too much at times. Do I feel like it showed yet again another fight where Arthur had adversity, came back and won? Yes, but also showed weakness against somebody who maybe I wouldn't say is a bad opponent. Suarez, like I said, I thought he'd win. He's a good opponent, but is it maybe the fight which, if you are bigged up to be some next superstar, you'd win comfortably? Yes. Will it be interesting to see what the progression is from this fight? Yes, because realistically, I don't know what the next steps would be for him. Not entirely sure. We'll have to wait and see. But of course, he's got that big backing, so I'm sure there'll be another big fight. And now, he is the IBO champion as well. Porter won via TKO in round 1 versus Zukos. Campbell won via points versus Laskowski. Coyle drew versus Liashevsky. Limond won via points versus Vincent. Mahale won via TKO in round 4 versus Maguire. Jolly won via TKO in round 4 versus Madsen. Doig won via points versus Bricknell. Tham won via TKO in round 6 versus Turner to become Scottish Area Featherweight Champion. Crossan won via TKO in round 1 versus Smart to remain Scottish Area Super Lightweight Champion. We've had a Crossan on the channel. It was a good chat a little while ago now, and congratulations to him. Another good, convincing victory. Burns won via TKO in round 8 versus Limond. Got that one right. Great performance from Burns. It was dominant, really, and showed his level, showed his class. And it was nice to see from the older fighters. It's still a good, entertaining fight. And Limond didn't look on the level of Burns, but Burns, in my opinion, could possibly fight again. He said he didn't rule it out. I watched some interviews, didn't rule it out. So you never know. But it was a good performance, a dominating fight from him. Beterbiev wants to become undisputed, then move up in weight. Mayer wants to fight Jonas. Stringer won via points versus Gomez. Spoke to Stringer before the fight. Don't know if it's been released. But congratulations to Stringer nonetheless. Price won via stoppage in round 6 versus Mosea. Mayer won via points versus Bordeaux. Markey won via TK in round 1 versus Moran. Clark won via stoppage in round 6 versus Allen. Azim won via unanimous decision versus Fanyan. Cullen won via TK in round 3 versus Heffron to become British and Commonwealth Super Middleweight Champion. Unfortunate for Heffron, of course. We had a little chat with him a while ago, but it was a good shot that Cullen caught him with. And to be fair, good card. Like I said, uh, Price getting a good stoppage, Mayer getting a good performance, moving up in weight, Marku a great early stoppage in what a lot of people didn't think that would be the case. Clark maybe not the best of performances, low blows and stuff like that again in the heavyweight division. Azim good performance, one which took him the rounds, and it was a one which I think he was needing but still looked impressive in. And like I said, Cullen caught Heffron with a hell of a shot. And then the main event was out, of course. Eubank Jr. won via TKO in round 10 versus Smith, and that was a good dominating performance from Eubank Jr. I didn't get the prediction right. I didn't even do a prediction video in the end. I didn't get a chance, but I said Smith unanimous decision. It was on my Instagram story. Smith didn't look at all what he did in the first fight. There's proof, there's videos of him getting injured during this fight, and I don't even think he was fully fit going into the fight. I mean, he talked about the weight and stuff like that. I don't want to make excuses. I don't really like how the amount of excuses he made, but to an extent you can see that there is something that was wrong, and I feel like he didn't deliberately fight like that, and he didn't, in my opinion, get completely outboxed. I feel like if on his good day, on his best of days, he could have possibly still won that fight, because Eubank wasn't doing crazy good. Like, he was winning dominantly and comfortably, but Smith wasn't really giving anything, and that it grew Eubank's confidence, and he fought a similar way to what he did in the first fight, Eubank, but he just had more chance to gain confidence, and when you gain confidence, and you become even more of a difficult fighter to beat, and that's what Smith let him do by not throwing, by not really giving any output, because he couldn't really, and Eubank ended up winning in the end. Like I said, a good performance. Maybe not crazily good as what a lot of people are saying, but it was a good, comfortable performance, and one which definitely was necessary for Eubank. Like, there was all the talks of him possibly struggling mentally going into this fight because of the fact that he did lose the first one, and how would he be able to react to it and stuff like that, but did well in that aspect, came back. It was still a very good performance at the end of the day, but it would be interesting to see where Eubank goes next. Probably will be the Ben fight. Hopefully for British boxing it'll be a huge fight. Do I think he's really capable to win a world title, Eubank? No. I mean, the middleweight division isn't really the most stacked at the moment. I think if he fights Chanabek, he's going to lose. If he fights Gautieri, he'll probably lose. If he fights Golovkin, I'd imagine he'd lose, but the only thing that could play a factor is age, I suppose. But like, realistically, I don't see him winning against any of the champions at middleweight, and so yeah, well, I think the Ben fight is probably the best one to make at the moment for him. But good domestic British fights. Another one, Eubank, Ben possibly there, and nice to see them happening. Moving on now to the MMA news. Allen will fight Craig November 18th. Charrier won via KO in round 1 versus Zacchini. Gomez won via KO in round 3 versus Gemori. Uzdemir won via submission in round 1 versus Guskov. St. Denis won via KO in round 2 versus Moises. Fioro won via decision versus Namajunas, and Garn won via KO in round 2 versus Spivak. Good card. Watched all of it. All the main card. The French fans really knew how to come out and support their fighters, and they were very loud and didn't expect it. It was just nice to see. Fioro, good performance from her. Namajunas did look like she struggled at the weight. I mean, she got that hand injury that did look quite bad, and I've seen photos of it afterwards, and it was bad early on. But either way, I think she struggled with the weight. She didn't look to be hitting that hard. She was struggling to find the range, struggling to get in close, and didn't really show too much in general. And I don't really know where Namajunas goes next from this. I mean, I got that prediction wrong. Also, that was on my Instagram. Fioro, though, good, solid performance from her. Another good win for her against a top operator. She probably will get a title shot now. Hopefully for her sake, she will, and deserved. Moving on to the Garn win. I didn't predict that one right either. I said Spivak unanimous decision. I just thought possibly after the Jones fight things would be a bit more difficult for Garn, and I thought this was quite a difficult stylistic matchup for Garn, but Garn did what he had to do. He kept his range, moved very well, was very loose, elusive, and just kind of outboxed him very quickly. Knew that the fight was probably going to go the way of Garn from the earlier seconds of the first round. You kind of knew that was going to be the case, and Garn outboxed him and possibly could have even got him out in the first round. Spivak on his feet was very stale, not really showing anything, was very flat-footed, and was pretty much open to get knocked out. And Garn did it well, did it comfortably, and hopefully now the Tom Aspinall fight will happen. It seems like they're making that fight happen now. I mean, of course, Aspinall was there, so it seems like that's going to be happening now, and I can't wait for that fight. And yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Like if you didn't like this, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.